Hi, everybody, and welcome here to KSA INSIGHT. Today, I'm here with Axon Partners Group with Jorge and Victor. Guys, how are you doing?
Hi. Well, very nice to be here. Thank you.
Hi all. Yeah, I'm very happy to be here today. Thank you.
Okay, good to hear that, guys. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are here to talk about AI. What makes a country innovation friendly for AI? Well, we're gonna go inside and we're gonna go deep today. We're gonna talk about actually to set the vision, to govern the clarity and agility. We talk about secure, sustainable power. We talk about unlock the value of the data, which might interest you, and of course, build a human capital. So before I move on, I'm more than happy to give the floor to one of the guys and to share the presentation. And yeah, we'll go in Q&A afterwards. So, gentlemen, the floor is yours, and wish you all the best.
Thank you very much, Eric. So today we are going to be discussing a lot about AI and how to make a country innovation friendly. I will first introduce a little bit about Axon and ourselves, and Victor and myself. Uh, we will also be focusing on what are the key factors that we have found in our practice in worldwide on AI public policy about making countries and ecosystems be innovation friendly. Also, we will do at the end some summary of what on how countries and companies can turn AI vision into action, and we'll finally wrap up with a little bit of insights from Axon. So, if I may start with the following slide. Axon is an international consultancy firm focusing on technology. We have been working for many years in more than 500 projects. We work in more than 70 countries. So we have a very international experience. We are not only consultants supporting companies and governments in AI. We are also investors in AI. We have a sister division, which is the investment division, which invests in technology in general. But of course, in the past number of years, they have been investing a lot in AI companies, in AI implementation. So we not only have the perspective from the, let's say, high level point of view, but we also know how the AI companies work. So we can provide better advice from both sides of the table. We have a very big team of specialists, more than 70 consultants, bringing the senior team more than 250 years of experience. And all of our partners or clients are typically relying on us periodically, frequently, because they trust our services, and most of our clients are repeating with our services. We work with many policymakers, as you can see here on the right of the slide, but also private sector. We work for many private large companies, so we can support either if you are a government or a public or a private corporate. Today we are here. My name is Jorge Martinez. I am partner at Axon Partners Group. I'm together here with Victor Martinez, senior manager at Axon. We have been working together for many years on AI, public policy, AI governance. So I think we can help you thriving on this matter. Yes, starting then with the topic. So what are the key factors to make a country or ecosystem innovation friendly? Actually, what we have found, it is can be summarized in 9 factors. And we have 9 factors that I would like to spoil the details so you can see them, discover them step by step. And for that, I would like to leave the floor to Victor. Victor, please, can you take the floor and start with the different factors?
Hi, everybody. I'm Victor Martinez, senior manager at the Axon Partners Group. So the first factor that makes a country truly innovation friendly for AI is setting a clear vision from the top. Okay, so whenever governments make AI a national priority, they automatically send a strong signal of permanence, of commitment that AI isn't another passenger, but a long-term strategic bet. So this clarity usually inspires confidence among investors, corporates, innovators, as it turns AI from a text buzzword into a structural pillar of the country's future competitiveness. Because at the end of the day, certainty is the first condition for innovation, and the vision from the top is what brings that certainty. So the way we wanted to let's say, talk about each of these factors is because this is the KSA Insights webinar. We're going to focus first on Saudi Arabia, and then we're going to also provide an overview of what is happening in the GCC. To this end, and in Saudi, the setting the vision for AI is crystal clear. So AI is key embedded into the public investment fund's entire strategy. Since 2021, the Saudi company for artificial intelligence has acted as a BI's tech arm, and now with Humane, who's the new national AI champion, the country is building across the full AI value chain. Add to that the Saudi Data and AI Authority and the National AI Strategy, and you have a strong alignment from policy to execution from every angle. In the GCC, we see indeed similar moves, especially in the UAE, where AI is also a pillar of national transformation. And major efforts are currently anchored by MGX, who's one of the world's largest AI-focused investment platforms, and is helping materialize their national AI strategy. In other GCC states, strategies or policies exist. However, they are often superficial or lack a bit of the depth needed to send the signals of long-term commitment that are required. The conclusion here for this factor is clear. If the goal is to attract talent, investments, technological development, having a strong and sustained vision is not optional, but it is essential.
Victor, may I interrupt you quickly? What should the national AI vision include, actually?
Well, that's actually a great question, Eric. In our view, a stronger national AI vision should include three key elements. First, it needs to be anchored in a broader economic and societal agenda. So it is not just about technology, but about how AI supports national priorities like education, healthcare, energy, or competitiveness. It should be, in fact, integrated into the country's long-term development goals. Now, the second is that it should have a clear institutional ownership. Okay, it's not enough just to publish a strategy and then sit back and relax. There needs to be someone accountable for driving it forward with real authority, budget, coordination power. Okay. And the third factor in our view is that it should give direction without micromanaging. Okay, it should say things like, "This is where we want to go. These are the sectors we want to focus on. This is the kind of innovation environment we want to create." But it should also leave room for experimentation and this bottom-up innovation. So in short, the vision needs to be clear, it should be committed and connected to the action. And what we've seen is that when governments get that right, it changes the entire game.
Okay, thank you.
A second defining factor in our view is how a country governs AI. And this is not about control versus freedom, but it's about creating the right balance. So having clear and proportionate rules give especially the AI innovators the confidence to move fast. Yeah, so effectively because they know where the boundaries are. So we've seen that this regulatory agility is critical at the same time because seeing how fast the AI is moving, any rigid rule will fall behind 100%. And here, the countries that will win are those that can adapt quickly while still protecting the accountability and the ethical use of AI systems. Here, in this context, we've seen that it is important having a risk-based approach for AI. Applying light touch rules or low-risk AI cases and stricter guardrails where the stakes are higher. And This has proven to be an effective method to avoid over-regulating innovation, at the same time ensuring the protection that AI must be associated. In Saudi Arabia, Sadaya has taken this approach, right? Offering principles and frameworks that balance the adoption of AI, not just imposing hard laws. Here we, from the AI ethics principles to the AI adoption framework, the Saudi system appears to be approaching this from both a flexible and forward-looking angle. And the country even issued its first AI-related copyright fine, which shouldn't be just seen as a monetary sanction, but as a means of passing a clear message. AI use, or let's say AI misuse, still carries legal responsibilities. And in the broader GCC, we see still that approaches can vary. Okay, the UAE, for instance, has its own AI charter. The Minister of States that are leading the charge and the orchestration focused on the ethics, on enablement rather than restricting. In other countries like Oman or Bahrain, AI governance is guided more by the national policies or ethical principles than by exhaustive regulation. Qatar is a good example of a more fragmented approach, let's say with several bodies issuing rules in parallel. This includes the Ministry of Communications, the National Cybersecurity Authority, the Central Bank. So big names, each doing their own thing, if I may. And in this case, particularly the lack of a central coordinating entities is making governance a bit less predictable for businesses willing to deploy their AI use cases. And this means less certainty, and this was a key requirement stemming from a previous slide.
Victor, shall countries be explicit on how AI should be governed?
Oh yes, Eric. Indeed, they must. There is a common tendency to think that if a country issues a governance framework or a regulation, it means that it is very demanding or it's over-regulating, and that stifles innovation. But this is not true, as regulations can provide just light focus touches when needed, provide certainty to investors, certainty to entrepreneurs, especially. So here, we believe that the debate should be focused on identifying relevant risks to mitigate, so we can leave less risky applications and regulate there or of optional adherence to the regulation, and find the right balance between regulating AI and promoting AI. Okay, I don't know if you have anything here to add.
Yes, sir. I think you're right, Victor. I strongly believe that not having explicit regulatory framework is actually a barrier for innovation. This is going to be creating a lot of uncertainty, and uncertainty is typically one of the greatest barriers for innovation in technology. Is it better to have something clear to explain what it is supposed to be regulated and how, and who is actually regulating that in an explicit way? Would you invest in a lot of money in developing a new AI or implementing an AI if you don't know who is regulating this, or if anyone is going to regulate it in the future, if there is going to be a regulation in the future that you will have to adhere to? Probably not. So the reality is that you have, of course, as Victor said, you have to balance. You don't have to be over-regulating, and that's probably the main fear from a lot of investors. But if you have a clear rule, and okay, this is what you can do, this is what you cannot do, and of course, things that are not really, in reality generating a lot of risk to the citizens and to the country's interest, you can leave them unregulated or with just very high-level principles, which is a very common approach to define even not binding principles. But in some cases, you may need or you may want to at least set some lines, some basics. And the important thing is that you are clear about those and that they are explicitly said and somebody champion it. As Victor was saying, in some cases, you may find that some countries are having some scattered approach, and they are having different regulations from different organizations without a clear connection and without a clear leader, clear organization or authority or regulator or ministry or somebody that is, okay, I'm the one that I'm ruling this. And in those cases, probably investors may be holding their push because they are not clear what is going to happen. And actually, you see that the actions from the country are fragmented from different places. You may assume that in the future, somebody is going to be put in their place, and then you are going to be waiting for that to happen before you are investing a lot of money in implementing on or developing an AI system.
Thank you, Jorge. Thank you so much.
Now let's talk about the infrastructure, because even the best strategies will fail without the backbone to support them, right? So I may open a Pandora box here, but AI isn't traditional IT, okay? And why is this? Because it requires massive compute power, it requires high density data centers, and all the enablers that keep them running, right? Like cooling systems to ensure uninterrupted performance, fast and resilient connectivity, and especially affordable access to electricity and water. And more than this, infrastructure has to be future-proof. It has to scale. It needs to be sustainable. It needs to operate under, let's say, heavy workloads. And for this reason, those countries that make these investments are not simply building data centers, but they're instead creating the backbone of an AI ecosystem that can compete globally. In Saudi Arabia, this is something that we've seen is already happening, right? With billions being invested in next-gen data centers. Today in the country, there are roughly 275 megawatts of installed capacity with additional 127 megawatts under construction. So to this, you add that multiple industry players have announced ambitious pledges, like Amazon Web Services alone is investing over 5 billion in building their AI zone, or giants like STC, Aramco Digital, Neon, they are building cloud and data platforms designed for scale. For instance, the example of Neon, right, with Data Vault, they're planning a 1.5 gigawatt park, and AMD with Humane, a 2.2 gigawatt projects distributed across 11 sites. So with this, we see that the Saudi desert is becoming the new frontier for hyperscalers, for hyperscale data centers that are finding it very attractive, as it is providing them the stability, the land, and the resilience that the other traditional hubs can't easily match. And in the GCC, there's a similar momentum, right? The UAE in particular is attracting billions from both domestic champions, also global hyperscalers. G42, for instance, has plans to build a 5 gigawatt AI data center campus in collaboration with the US. So expansion is visible across the Gulf. However, the distribution is somewhat uneven. With smaller markets such as Kuwait or Bahrain continuing to lag in hyperscale capacity and leaving some gaps in the resilience of the Gulf as a region. So the key challenge now for everyone, however, is not infrastructure alone, but infrastructure sustainability, right? Which usually comes with those enablers, but in a little step ahead, like advanced cooling, efficient water use, grid resilience. And here we believe that embedding this sustainability into the backbone of any country's digital economies, what really will separate the short-term builds from the long global competitiveness. And this brings us to the next critical point, which is power. So no AI ecosystem can flourish without reliable power. and it has become the single greatest bottleneck for AI deployment worldwide. We know that the AI at scale consumes enormous energy, and without abundant, reliable electricity, even the most advanced infrastructure won't function. And increasingly, in today's context, it's not just having power, but it's about having team power. We'll see that the world's leading AI companies are under pressure to meet strict ESG targets. And if a country cannot offer sustainable energy, it risks being left behind or left out completely of the AI equation, as these players want vodka, simply put. Saudi Arabia has a strong position here, and their centralized energy planning and the country's abundant generation capacity allows the country to offer a really stable supply. And Saudi is also going big on renewables, from their gigascale solar and wind farms to NEOM's green hydrogen ambitions. Again, this isn't just power, it's green, scalable power that in the country today is tapping almost the 5 gigawatt mark, making up 5% of the country's total power capacity, which is strengthening the Saudi's position, the long-term positioning as a sustainable AI hub to attract those players. Across the GCC, similar power-related advantages exist for obvious reasons. Here, while grids in Europe and the US may struggle to keep up, the Gulf can offer reliability as a differentiator. Yeah, and as we've seen, green power is also a thing. In the UAE, for instance, mega solar parks like the Noor Abu Dhabi or MDR are now powering data centers full in renewable energy, which is a huge draw for global AI players. Here, Qatar also has ambitious plans to increase its renewable energy capacity to roughly 20% by 2030, right? Trying to stand out in the region in terms of energy diversification. So, in a nutshell, expanding clean energy further will be essential to meet the international benchmark, which for the Gulf are still a bit far, as countries like Spain, for instance, have renewables targets of 80% total capacity by 2030, which that's another league. But nevertheless, it will be key to strengthen the Gulf's position as this credible hub for AI innovation in the coming years that they want to be.
Victor, just to bump in here, but is energy cost so therefore a competitive advantage in AI?
Oh yes, absolutely, Eric. So countries that enjoy low cost electricity can and will attract the hyperscale data centers and the AI model training to their borders. And in the case of the Gulf, low cost energy is something that they have in abundance. Countries here are leveraging the natural gas to make themselves these attractive destinations for AI companies. And just to put a bit things in perspective here, the price per kilowatt hour in Oman or Qatar, for example, is half a cent of a dollar. Whereas in major hubs like Netherlands, Singapore, it's around 20 cents or in the vicinities.
Yeah.
So this can be a turning point for them, right? However, that said, it's not just about cheap power, because global companies tend to have sustainable objectives, and they may even give advantage to sustainable energy, even if it's more expensive, rather than cheap, not sustainable energy sources, no? And that's why we're witnessing this quick ramp up into renewables across the region.
Okay, thank you.
Hands down, AI is driving one of the largest infrastructure build-outs of our generation. We know that AI computing needs are growing by more than 30% year over year, and this growth is not just incremental; it's exponential. So when it comes to capital and investment, we shouldn't just be talking about investment alone, but about hyperscale investment, right? To keep feeding this momentum. And to capture this, countries, first of all, need ecosystems that make it easy to invest, right? A great example for these are the existence of free zones, and which have usually lower barriers for companies entering new markets, combining economic incentives, advanced infrastructure, and typically easing the licensing procedures. So this gives investors massive trust and commit for the long term. And in Saudi, AI investments are already in motion. Of course, the PIF is leading with billions being poured across multiple projects. NEOM is also attracting global players, and AWS, Oracle, NVIDIA, they are all investing quite heavily to anchor let's say, the kingdom's AI ecosystem. And this blend of sovereign capital and international partnerships is creating a really good momentum, and is positioning Saudi in a place that few countries can match. But in the rest of the GCC, similar forces are emerging. Yeah. The alignment of sovereign capital, supported policies, and fast-growing infrastructure is making the region one of the few global destinations capable of absorbing and deploying AI scale investment, and at a speed which is essential, the pace of it. MGX in the UAE, for example, is targeting 100 billion in AI-related assets under management. QIA in Qatar just designed a 1 billion fund of funds vehicle to attract the VC firms from all over the world to base in Doha and co-invest in AI and startup with them. So the opportunity now is there, though it would benefit from broadening and distributing a bit more these large-scale investments, so that innovation doesn't just happen and concentrate in 2 or 3 countries in the Gulf, but instead lifts the entire region.
Yep. Okay. Talking about, so sorry to interrupt again, but talking about attracting the capital, Victor, could reliance on sovereign wealth funds pose risks for innovation? What do you think?
Well, that is a good question, and I think that the short answer is yes. Okay, yes, with some caveats. So, of course, relying heavily on sovereign wealth funds can pose risks, like I don't know, reduce the diversity of ideas or potential over centralization of funding decisions.
Mm-hmm.
But we've seen that the GCC countries have mitigated this risk quite well by what I just talked earlier, right? They are combining the sovereign capital with partnerships with international companies, with international investors. So it is true that this approach, although a bit more complex for an external viewer, perfectly provides the stability and the access to global expertise and to capital. And of course, it's allowing innovation to flourish while it ensures, that the projects affected remain financially sustainable, and everything is strategically aligned as well to the Vision 2030s or the Vision 2025 and 2035 programs.
Okay. Cool.
Right. So, one of the most overlooked factors, but powerful at the same time, is cultural differentiation. And here it is not hard to imagine that AI builds with local context, that understands local languages, cultural norms, and user behaviors, is much more relevant, much more useful, and much more trusted by users, right? And this is how regional countries can create something authentic, something locally relevant that global competitors cannot easily replicate. And we've seen something like this in Saudi Arabia, right? Saudi Arabia is moving in this direction. They recently launched the Humane Chat, which is a proof of this. This chat is powered by a new cutting-edge model, Allow 34B, and is ranking already among the top performance in Arabic models. It is fluent in Islamic heritage and local dialects. It basically has cultural intelligence. Yeah. And actually, the team from Shabandar is doing something similar for e-commerce. They're building retail AI tools that are designed specifically for Arabic markets. And I can tell you, these aren't just copy-paste solutions. They're locally intelligent, and that is really a competitive edge. And across the GCC, we see similar moves. So the UAE comes with the JICE language model, which was developed by the Mohammed bin Zayed AI University in partnership with G42. And then this supports Arabic and English both seamlessly. And in Qatar, we have a similar model as well called FAR, done by the Computing Research Institute, which is advancing this concept of multimodal Arabic AI, handling text, speech, and even image generation. But overall, this space is still relatively young. So investing in high quality and culturally relevant data sets to feed all these models make a defining strength and difference for the region. And this takes us to the next factor, which basically says no AI without data. It's that simple. It's what makes training, deployment, and real-world performance possible, really. And governments play a key role here, right? So countries need trusted frameworks that govern the use of data, making what I mentioned, high quality and trustworthy data accessible to the public while protecting its privacy and the responsible use. So tools like public data sets, open data portals, safe sharing models, all of these allow innovation and allow precisely AI systems to be trained and deployed responsibly by model makers. So Saudi Arabia has done a lot here in just a bit more than 6 years. The country has positioned really itself as a leader in data, and this has been mostly driven by Sanaya and the National Data Bank, which was created to consolidate quality national data sets to create value for both the public sector and the private sector. So in the Saudi case, Vision 2030 treats data as strategic national assets, and these two agencies have taken it very seriously. Saudi also released recently the world's first data embassies law. And you may ask yourself, what is a data embassy? So basically, a data center in one country that is subject to the laws of another country and not to the local laws where the data center is hosted. So effectively, and even if this term is not new, Saudi created a legal framework for sovereign digital infrastructure, which is already defining interesting global benchmarks for other countries. In the broader GCC, all the countries count with open data portals and frameworks, okay, from Bahrain to Oman. Just to throw a couple of examples, in the UAE, they count with Smart Dubai and all the open data platform efforts. And Qatar is pushing for data sharing in finance and across other sectors. There's still a bit of fragmentation, though, in the sense that some data sets aren't fully updated, some aren't accessible. So having a stronger, more consistent data governance framework would make it much easier for AI innovators to build and to scale their solutions.
But Victor, question again. Can data openness conflict with privacy or security?
Can data openness conflict with privacy or security?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're seeing this all the time with ethics issues, copyright issues, lawsuits between tech giants, or permissions to use given data sets to
Exactly.
train models or not. So there's an inherent tension between openness and protection, right? So open data sets or available information is critical for innovation, but on the other hand, sensitive data must be protected to maintain privacy and security. So for this reason, we believe that heavy involvement from data agencies and cybersecurity agencies in the AI world is more important than ever to protect, both the national interests with the personal privacy interests.
Mm. Okay, thank you.
So we are reaching the end with our eighth factor. And here, the message we want to pass is that AI isn't just about adopting tools, right? It's about creating new knowledge. This is something that we've touched upon already. And for that, countries need to invest in research and development. So top-tier universities, applied research centers, partnerships with global leaders, sustained funding. This is truly how countries shift from AI consumers or box movers to AI creators, not only hosting AI infrastructure, but also generating this original knowledge, right? Saudi here is investing quite heavily. Sedaya and the King Abdullah University for Science and Technology are working together on generative AI and advanced analytics. Coast has also partnered with Google, with DeepMind, NVIDIA, linking academic research to industrial use cases. And also the King Abdullah City for Science and Technology is backing large-scale research in robotics, Arabic natural language processing, NLPs. So these efforts aren't just academic, by the way, as they are perfectly in line with the Vision 2030 and the country's diversification goals. And this happens to be just great for AI. And in the GCC, countries are also building advanced AI research ecosystem. Here, the UAE clearly stands out with the Mohammed bin Zayed AI University, which has become a global research player, is ranking among the top in AI publications, and is hosting partnerships with institutions like MIT and Oxford. In Bahrain, the Artificial Intelligence Research Center at the University of Bahrain is producing applied research in machine learning and computing vision. And Kuwait's Institute for Research for Scientific Research has, active projects in robotics, AI-driven water management, Arabic NLPs. So quite advanced as well. If we look at this, it's not bad at all, but one may ask, what's missing? So indeed, a bit more regional collaboration in the form perhaps of pooling research across both borders. This could turn the GCC into a true global knowledge hub and compete with others across the globe. And finally, let's talk about the people, right? The human factor. Even with the best infrastructure, the most advanced models, the greenest energy, you name it, none of it works without the human talent to design, to build, and to apply it responsibly. And that, of course, means investing in AI knowledge via education, professional training programs, workforce upskilling at every level, from data scientists to the AI literate policymakers. So the whole spectrum. In Saudi, we see this is already happening. So in partnership with NVIDIA, Zendaya is launching this professional generative AI training program. The ministry is rolling out broad AI education programs that target students, professionals, and government employees through the National E-Learning Center. And at the same time, Saudi university students are getting free one-year subscriptions to Google Gemini, which of course is lowering the barrier for adoption and is de facto building hands-on fluency on AI tools from the earliest stage of the careers of the students' careers. In the broader GCC, training programs are expanding, especially in the UAE and Qatar, with the AI literacy specific modules being rolled out across universities countrywide. And in general, though there is still heavy reliance on external expertise, and to truly anchor innovation locally, AI literacy needs to be embedded across the education system, right? And a bit more needs to be done to retain this top talent, because in the end, it's not just about the infrastructure or strategy, but it's about the people. And the skilled people are what can turn AI ambition into the impact that a country wants. So this is our last factor. I'm passing the mic back to you, Jorge.
Thank you, Victor. So we discussed the 9 factors, so we can reveal them. And just to wrap up, factor 1, it was to set the vision. National strategies on AI are laying the foundation for innovation, and they are signaling the industry and the world their intentions into mastering on AI. Second factor, govern with clarity and agility. As we said, it is not about regulating or heavily regulating AI. That's not what we are expecting here. But we have to be countries have to be very clear on how AI is governed in their countries, how it should be applied, how it should be developed, and they should balance properly between controlling or handling the risks while not stifling innovation. Third, build and enable the infrastructure. We said data centers are critical, and they have to be. You have to have the proper capacity to power the AI, both for development of AI, but also for inference. 4, power. You need electricity for these data centers, and it is about not only cheap, ideally, but it's also about flexible, enough capacity, and also, very importantly, sustainable capacity, because many big players are also looking for sustainable capacity to meet also their global targets. 5th, you have attracting the capital. You need the money. And of course, there is where we are seeing a lot of money being poured by the governments, but not only. You have to collaborate with with private entities to bring together a lot of resources to develop and to create this AI ecosystem. 6th, we have to differentiate via culture and context. Of course, there are very big players in the world trying to dominate the AI world, but we believe that countries in the GCC, you have the opportunity to lead the AI in your context, in Arabic culture, in your people's beliefs. 7, you have to unlock the value of data. Data is crucial to develop and to train models, and availability of good quality and relevant data while complying with privacy requirements is crucial. So governments are doing a lot there. You have to also, following factor, invest in research and development. Of course, if you don't want just to be using other countries' models, you will have to develop yourself, your models, your own models. You will have to invest in people researching in AI, not only on AI, but also on safe AI. What are the criteria, the methods to ensure that AI is safe and it is working for the benefit of humanity and not only for the benefit of the companies. And ninth, and to be ending, you have to also have the capital, the human capital. You need to teach the people to develop AI, but also to use it. And it is crucial that people know how to use it and that to use it correctly. So as you see, we have 9 very clear factors, which we believe that are making countries AI friendly. But the question now is how you will implement those factors, how you will develop those factors. No, so we have here actually 2 sides of the coin. First, we have the government. Government has some things to do, but it is not only about the public sector. You also have the companies, the corporates, and what they can do. Moving first to the government, first action which is very relevant is to ensure that land for data centers is affordable and that the permits are easy to get. So you need land that has access to relevant utilities, to water, to electricity, also to very good connectivity. It is connected to the ecosystem, to IXPs, to the cable landing stations, to international connectivity. But also, it is very important that getting those permits to build on the land are not too cumbersome, that the bureaucracy is not very complex for the companies to build. Second, you have to invest. This is about money, but not only about public money. It is better if you go for partnership with the private sector, and then you are putting together not only public money, but also you are increasing the bag with a lot of public sector, which is going to be much more relevant to the investors and to the companies than if you are just working alone. Third, you need to have enough energy, and as we said, you have to ensure that you have clean energy as much as possible, and that the tariffs are flexible and are adaptable to the AI usage. Fourth, you need to define proper governance. As we said, regulation is important. How you govern AI is important. We are not saying that you have to regulate it or you don't have to have heavily regulated, but you have to be very clear on how it should be governed and who is governing it to ensure that there are no uncertainties for the investors. Following, you need to develop trusted data frameworks. Data and governments are one of the key owners of very high quality data about their countries. You have to put it, of course, with the safety and the privacy measures that you need, but you have to ensure that the information is there to train and to build models. Following, you have to fund research and develop centers of excellence to create your own knowledge and to thrive and to not only be users of other countries' know-how. And finally, from a government point of view, you have to foster collaboration ecosystems. There are a lot of stakes here and a lot of entities, companies with a lot to gain in this new technology. But you need to ensure that they are all collaborating to ensure that you are maximizing the benefits while controlling all the risks that are associated to AI. So that's from the government side. If we move to the corporate side, you also have some things to do. You have to embed AI in your strategy and in your leadership. If you want to thrive with AI and you want to take all the advantages that AI is going to bring to your company, you need somebody to lead it. And you have to show to the company that this is something strategic for you. So that's critical. Following, you have to focus on high impact use cases. There are so many use cases that are being developed that you can be lost in the details. You have to prioritize which of them are best for you, which of them are applications that are going to create or a differentiation factor or more value for your customers, or at least they are improving or having a higher impact, a best impact in your company. Then you have to invest in talent and culture. And this is a critical point, and many people is right now afraid about what is going to be the impact of AI in the workforce. It is critical not to quickly fall in the cost-saving benefits that AI can bring. You have to build a team, and if you are not building the team from the starter points on people that are creating, that are owning the AI and are using the AI, probably you will fail in the future to grasp all the benefits that AI can bring you. Following, you have to define a clear governance. Your employees have to know how AI can be used or can be used. You need to, as we said, a leadership that is controlling all this, but you have to create the codes of ethics or the policies, internal policies that are driving how AI can be used and how to control and to tackle the risks that can affect your company if AI is misused or if AI is having any issue. You have to collaborate locally. You have to look for AI companies in your country to ensure that first, you are getting a lot of knowledge from them, but also you are building an ecosystem that overall is going to help you thrive in the future. And finally, but not lastly, it's very important that you are aligning with the national visions. As we saw in the GCC, all the countries, you have your AI strategies. So look at them, read them, and see if you are doing something for your company, if you are ticking one of the boxes of the strategy from the country. Of course, it will be easier for you, and also you will be growing in the same direction that the rest of the country. And also, the ESG goals are relevant as AI is affecting to most of them. So also you can look for them to ensure that what you are implementing or what you are doing with AI is also aligned with those goals. So this is mostly how you can implement, how you can improve these 9 factors in your country from both government and private sector perspective.
Jorge, sorry. On the governmental side, I see these let's say, 7 points. But if a government has to prioritize, which of these initiatives you believe will be more important?
Well, in my view, there are 4 key areas that countries must do, which is first, you need to ensure that the land is there. So the data centers can be built. And this is something that you own and you have control on. And also the bureaucracy to build on those on that land. Second, you have to dedicate the relevant resources, economic resources to this topic. Everywhere in the world is investing a lot of money into AI. So if you want to be ahead of the race, you will need to invest a lot of money, but always your impact will be higher if you are coordinating this with the private sector. Third, you will need to ensure that data centers have the electricity that they need. We are talking about gigawatts. If you remember the amount of power that have been already declared or committed in different countries in the GCC, we are talking about several gigawatts of capacity. So you need the electricity to be there, to be close to those power stations, or at least something that we are seeing in some countries, to allow the flexibility to private companies to build their own energy, which is something that we are seeing in other countries, even with nuclear power. And fourth, finally, but for me, most importantly, you have to be very clear on what is the governance that you want for your country. How it is going to govern? Are you going to define regulatory authority for AI? Are you going to regulate which applications, which you need to adhere to some principles? Are there compulsory or they are optional for some applications? All these things are questions that right now, to be honest, there is no international best practice. There are many approaches and many countries are tackling this differently. But what it is most important is that you are taking a decision and you are being explicit on how it is going to be, and you are setting clear and stable regulations for the near future for investors to trust in your country and to be ready to invest based on those rules.
Thank you. So clear focus.
Focus, of course, always.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
Thank you. Just to finalize, we'd like just to close with, you have you need more information about AI in both public sector and the impact of AI in different matters. You can reach in our webpage for many public and free white papers that we have published. This presentation is going to be also ready to be downloaded close to this webinar. So you can open it and you will have there the links to open these files, particularly for this particular case. There is one about the incentives for AI, which is very relevant for this case, for this webinar. But you have also some other topics here that you can find relevant. Thank you very much for watching us today, and I hope that you enjoy. Anything, you can always reach us, Victor or myself, we'll be happy to help you as much as we can.
Thank you, Jorge, and thank you, Victor, for giving us a very deep insight on defining what are the defining factors actually of an innovation-friendly country for AI. Again, Jorge and Victor, I would like to thank you for that. But I have still one burning question, if you don't mind. Okay. At the beginning, you were mentioning, that you have to set the vision. You need to be very clear, but what's burning actually here is you need each other, right? The government needs the private sector, vice versa, right? That's what you mentioned even in your last statement. So can private company lead AI innovation even if government strategy is still unclear?
So Victor, do you want to take this one?
I can take it. Yes.
Please.
So this is something we have seen a lot and we've been asked a lot, Eric. Of course, that private companies can innovate, independently. And especially there are some sectors more prone to innovation than others, right? Like, fintech or logistics or sometimes even healthcare. However, scaling these innovations without government support, that can be very challenging. So those national strategies with a clear vision is what's going to pave the way for access to infrastructure, access to funding, regulatory guidance. Okay, and this is the key here. Something that works quite well is the public-private collaboration. Okay, we've seen this in the GCC, and it's demonstrating quite well how this government vision, combined with companies, their expertise, their ambitions, and so on, is massively amplifying the results and therefore accelerating all the AI ecosystem and development forward.
Okay, thank you. You talked about the secure, sustainable power, right? Remember, and which is really important, and we all know the agenda, and it needs to be as sustainable as possible. But on the other hand, I mean, could AI itself not contribute to more efficient energy use?
Yeah, of course, and actually,
It's a bit the chicken and the egg, right?
Yeah. And this was one of the earliest use cases that Jorge and I were exposed to when we began looking at AI projects a few years ago. Of course, AI can optimize energy grids. They can even predict consumption. They can integrate renewables more effectively. Yeah, so of course, this concept of AI-powered smart grids are nowadays balancing the loads, reducing wastes, and aligning with any country sustainability goals that manage to get this embedded. And of course, it's a virtuous cycle, right? Like the chicken and the egg you were mentioning. So sustainable energy powers AI, then AI improves the efficiency of sustainable energy systems, and then it begins all again.
Okay, all right. Gentlemen, looking at the time, we're talking about already since 1 hour what the defining factors actually of an innovation-friendly country for AI are. And Jorge as partner at Axon and Victor as a senior manager at the Axon Partners Group, I would like to thank you dearly for being with us, sharing the knowledge, sharing the insight here at the KSA INSIGHT in the region. And I wish you all the best. And I know for sure that people who are listening or actually watching this webinar will get in touch with you, because there are so many questions. But I'm happy that Axon Partners Group can guide all the people, all the governments actually in how to approach it and to make it AI friendly as much as possible. So thank you again, Victor and Jorge. Thank you again.
Thank you very much,
Thank you,
Eric,
for
everybody
for doing this.
listening.
Thank you. And thank you for the community to leave us the opportunity to drive this webinar.